Hello friends, welcome to the channel. Doing a video today discussing Omega reference numbers. Specifically, I'm focusing on the reference numbers for modern Omega watches from 1988 to the present day. From 88 to 2007, they were called the PIC format or product information code, and from 2007 to the present day, a longer PIC14 format has been used. And there's been a good amount of criticism for the change, including from myself. I'm not the biggest fan of the very long code, which is very difficult to remember. I found the older PIC format much more handy, referring to a watch like a 2254 or 2531. And this is an interesting case. These are two very similar watches, except that the black dial watch came out 2 years later, and normally the black dial watch will have the same exact bracelet as the blue dial. However, I have put it on an aftermarket. And as you can see, the format of the dial of the two watches is very similar. Basically, everything's very similar except for the color. But they have two very different product codes or reference numbers. So I'll first go through the older, shorter PIC format here. The first digit indicates the product line. The second digit indicates the material the watch is made out of, which I found to not always be accurate, which I'll get into a little bit later. Third and fourth digit are simply the product variation. Fifth digit is the dial color. Sixth digit is the hour style of the hour markers, and the seventh and eighth digits indicate the type of strap. And for bracelet, it's 00, and a lot of times that's just left off. So in the example shown here, this is a 2220.80. The first digit indicates it's a Seamaster. The second indicates it's steel. The third and fourth are just the number of the product. The fifth digit indicates the dial color, 8 for blue, and the sixth indicates hour marker style, and the seventh and eighth indicate that it's on a bracelet 00, which many people, as I said, leave off. The only one of these numbers I was really familiar with before was the fifth digit for the color, which you quickly figure out when you look at these PIC codes that 8 is blue, 5 is black, etc. The longer format, PIC14, is quite a bit more complex, so I will go into a little bit more detail covering it. But basically, the first digits tell you the family the watch belongs to. The next two indicate what material the case and band are made of. The next one is easy, it's just a case diameter. The next two digits indicate the movement type and number of complications. And the next two digits indicate the color and material of the dial. And the last digits simply indicate the sequence of number of the model of watch. So within that group, which was first or second. And I mean, you do get a lot more information with this code, and I'll go into some of the representative numbers in each of these categories. For example, for the first group of three digits, as you can see, for example, 212 indicates a Seamaster 300M. 304 indicates a Speedmaster Moonwatch with moon phase. 424 is a DeVille Prestige. There are a lot more than the ones listed here, but these are some to give you an idea of what these numbers mean. Now, I don't think I will be remembering that 212 is the Seamaster diver, even though I've seen it many times, because it just is not a very memorable system for me. And the second group of digits, so these are the fourth and fifth digits, they tell you what the watch is made of. So a 10 indicates it's stainless steel assorted metal. A 12 indicates stainless steel plus non-metal, no CITES, which is refers to whether the materials come from animals for which products are protected in trade, such as if they're from a crocodile, for example, it would be a CITES, and regular leather would not. So the third set of digits, these are the sixth and seventh, would be simply the diameter of the watch. So this is actually the most useful number probably out of all of them, and the easiest to remember. So if you see a 41 in the middle of the code, you know that means a 41 millimeter case diameter. The next digits are interesting because the two indicate two different things. So here in the sample code, it's DD. The first D tells you the type of movement. The second D tells you the number of complications. So, for example, if the first D is a 2, you have an automatic or mechanical with a coaxial escapement. Most of the watches I've seen are, will have a 0 for the second D, as they don't have complications, and chronograph is not considered a complication for the purposes of this code. So if a watch simply has a chronograph and nothing else, it will still have a 0 for that digit. And the next pair of digits, shown as EE in my sample code here, that's simply the color of the dial. So these are some of the common ones. There are a lot others that I saw, but most other dial colors are not the most common models, so I just included some of these more, the ones you'll probably come across, like 01 for black or 03 for blue. Again, there's really no relationship with the number to the color, and there's no continuity. They used 8 for blue in the prior system, but here 03 is blue. So unfortunately, knowledge of the prior system won't really help you when looking at the PIC14 code. And lastly, the last 3 digits of the code simply tell you the sequence number of the model, meaning which model this is out of that group of models. Not very critical information in my opinion. And here again, I'll go through an example. The watch here, this is a 212.30.41.20.01.002, really ridiculously long reference number. First 2 digits tell you it's a Seamaster diver. The next 2 tell you that it has a steel case and other metal. That's the bezel, which is aluminum or aluminum insert. The next 2 digits are easy. 41 for a 41 millimeter case. The next 2 digits tell you, the 2 tells you that it has an automatic with coaxial escapement. The 0 tells you there are 0 complications. The next 2 digits, 01, tell you it has a black dial, and the last 3 digits, as I said, just tell you the sequence number. Here it's 002, meaning this is the second watch out of this subfamily, you could call it, of watches. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not the biggest fan of this longer number system. Even though there's more information encoded in here, I don't find it useful for my purposes. I can understand that Omega as a company may need to have this type of system in order to keep track of their ever-growing list of products, but for me, it's not helpful. And I've even found some interesting discrepancies. This is a chart which I believe came from Omega. I found online, showing the older PIC code explanation, and I found that the second digit on this chart tells you that it indicates a steel gold case on steel gold bracelet, but there are quite a number of Omegas that have a 2 in that position and do not have such a feature, including a very well-known 225450, the Peter Blake Seamaster. And this chart also doesn't have all the information. A related watch, the 2054.50, which is just like the Peter Blake Seamaster but with a bond bracelet, that has a 0 as the second digit, but there is no indication here of what a 0 means in this format. So it's it leaves a lot to be desired. Unfortunately, I prefer the older system, not because of the information conveyed, but just for ease of reference. I liked to refer to these watches as a 2254 or a 2230. I immediately, even after years, remember what that number refers to. Unfortunately, that's never going to be the case with the format that Omega has chosen to use today. But I wanted to just share a little bit of this information that I learned after I found a few sites and read up on it. Let me know what you think. I'm curious your opinions on reference numbers. If anyone prefers the longer reference numbers, I've really never come across someone with that opinion, but I'm sure there is somebody out there like that. And if you have any questions or comments as well, feel free to leave them below. And once again, thank you for watching.